in the event of any suspicious activity or any suspicious transaction on your property, there are different remedies that are provided under the law as to how one can safeguard the property. You can register a caveat against a property. For example, where a property is owned jointly, you can register and you suspect that one of the owners is trying to transfer the property without your consent or without any notice to you. You can register a caveat or a caution against that property. Now, a caveat, when registered against the property, serves the purpose of, first of all, stopping or impeding any transactions with respect to the property. And for any transaction that is going to transpire on the property, notice has to be given to you as the registered proprietor. It also brings attention to any fraudulent or suspicious action that is or may happen to property. Off-plan purchases. So you have probably seen, just to bring this a bit home, if you've seen any developers who are advertising, say, emerging apartments or an emerging block of buildings, but in the physical sense they've not yet been constructed or they've not yet been developed, that is deemed to be an off-plan purchase. So an off-plan purchase is where you are buying a vision per se. If I would put it quote in quote, you are buying a vision. So you are buying a vision that is being sold by a developer, undertaking that at a certain duration they will commence construction and complete construction. So usually with off-plan purchases, there could be a model house that is being shown, or a show house, and that could be a model for what is going to come up eventually. It is essential for a purchaser to be very careful before undertaking an off-plan purchase, because they need to ensure that, first of all, they have entered into a very solid agreement for sale. And by solid, I mean an agreement for sale that expressly provides for certain timelines and certain completion measures. One that provides that at this point construction shall have been concluded, at this point completion is going to be done, at this point enumerating also the different payment plans based on agreement between buyer and seller. The other aspect that needs to be taken into consideration for an off-plan purchase is ensuring that the vendor or the developer, they could be the same or different, but the developer needs to have obtained the requisite licensing or approvals for bringing up the establishment. So you need to ensure that they have obtained the NEMA approval, they've obtained approval from the National Construction Authority, they have obtained the architect's certificate of practical completion. That typically means that the architect is approving the property as being duly constructed and ready for habitation. You need to ensure you have a certificate of occupation from the county government. That is where the county government approves the property as being occupier friendly. Yes. Service charge is a charge that is imposed by a manager for where property is shared by different owners. For example, where you have an apartment and you are sharing it and you're one of the apartment owners alongside others, or where you have a flat or a house that is one of several flats but in the same location or vicinity. Service charge is that charge that accrues out of costs that are used to maintain the common areas, costs like lighting, like keeping the parts or compound or facilities or shared facilities like swimming pools, amenities clean, and yes. So service charge is usually agreed upon by the manager who is appointed to oversee the general running of the premises in conjunction with the vendor, the person who is the owner of the property.